And here we are. We are live. We are live. Interrupting Nick's flow of thought. Of Nick, what do you think is the worst level for a beat 'em up? And Nick just asked me this, and I'm trying to like ponder one. And I think one of them is in this game. It's a weird place to start off with Scott Pilgrim, the video game, to start telling you negative. But we'll get to the whole thing. So Nick, what do you think is your worst level? The worst level you've played in a beat 'em up?
That's crazy. I never played a beat 'em up ever.
Yeah, it was weird you asked me that. And then I asked you, oh man, what do you think? And you had an answer beforehand. So I thought we start recording, but now you just set me up to let me die. Well, I respect it. That's a good
Well,
hustle. I feel I
no, I
yeah.
think you know what. My hot take. I think you'd probably have to replay it to kind of see what I mean.
Okay.
But as much as I love the Alien versus Predator game,
Ooh, okay.
I never was too into. I forget the exact name of the place, but
Mhm.
uh, I don't know. I think like the stuff with like towards the end of it, like I
Okay.
wasn't too into. But I think that's just most beat 'em ups back in the day, where like
A
it's kind
lot
of
of
just a
beat 'em
rush
ups
to the muscle.
flounder towards the end, I feel like.
Yeah, that's kind of unfair. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's unfair because like I think it's a symptom. This is me talking out of my ass. This is just like from just a perspective of having played these games. And
Mhm.
you have to remember the idea that like these are meant to eat your quarters and take your money. Uh which is towards the end they'll just it starts getting more bullshit. Just because like either one is to either get you off the machine or two, it's to like, well, you're in it for this long, you might as well like squeeze the stone, right?
Yeah.
But I can also see the thing of like, well, we had to rush development towards the end because this is around the era where like we have 2 months to make a game, and that's what the beat 'em up is.
Mhm.
That's why if like you weren't playing an arcade version with real money, you can be in like an hour, maybe less, or two if you're lucky.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm trying to remember because like it's not. I wouldn't. When I think of worse and stuff, I think levels where I feel like I just want to get over with. I feel like that's when
Same.
level's bad,
Yeah, I
where
just
it stops.
wanna. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I say yeah, it just stops being fun. Yeah.
Yeah, stop being fine. You want to move on. I think that's like a really good sign. Such as what I brought up when you asked me this question before we started recording, which was the level in this game, Scott Pilgrim, which is specifically the elevator sequence before you fight Gideon,
Mhm.
is I think bad. I think it's terribly thought out. Now it fits with like some of the development stuff going on with this game, which is what was God, it was something crazy, like 2 months they had to make this game.
Yeah.
um and because things just weren't coming together until the very end, and they were like, nope, we can do it. All right, let's go. Like this game's kind of a miracle in that sense, right? Like, or like it's crazy that it exists as well of a package as it is, even though we'll get into some of the gripes with it. But going back to the elevator sequence, yeah, I don't like the way it's designed. For those who haven't played the game yet, for whatever reason you're listening to this, but that's because hey, we're continuing the Scott Pilgrim month after the last two episodes. Sorry about the episode being late, by the way. This is a lot of things happened all at once, and we had to delay this video for very good personal reasons. But I'm gonna try as soon as we finish recording. I'm trying to get this out like tonight. So back to the level. The elevator sequence before fighting Gideon is what it is you get on the elevator and you think, yeah, and for the most part, if you're playing it straight, like, yeah, it's a standard beat 'em up level. Except, it's the obligatory elevator sequence. Except the sequence is tied to a timer. And the timer is on the top of the screen as soon as it starts, and it's 5 minutes. So you think, okay, maybe there's a time limit to get to the bottom, which, you start fighting, and then you eventually plateau at a certain point where these clamps come on, and you have to destroy these metal clamps holding the elevator, and it feels rushed. So you beat it. So you keep doing that. You keep doing that, and that keeps happening. That's the sequence. Beat up a bunch of guys as you're going down. Clamps. Enemies come out through a door, and you got to beat them up too. And then elevator keeps going down. Beat up some guys. Clamps, and you repeat the sequence 4 or 5 minutes. And you think, okay, maybe I got to get to a certain point, and then once you just hit the 5-minute mark, and the elevator explodes, and you fall through. But you make it to Gideon's boss fight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The problem with that is there's no fail state except dying.
Oh yeah.
And there's also there's no reward for feeling like, oh man, I made it. It really is the most like it's just an illusion.
Yeah.
Feelings, because as we found out, I wanted to test, hey, what happens when the 5 minutes are up? Because we made it by the way, me and Nick played this together. Just because it's a beat 'em up and it's more fun with more than one person. So that's our perspective. We played as a 2-player campaign. I want to see what happens when the 5 minutes. Is there a special like death thing, or you just fail? No, it just drops you off in Gideon's boss fight. So the optimized way to do that level is to just beat up everyone up until that first set of clamps, and then just stand still until the timer goes off. And once it does, you go down because you want as much health and as many lives as you can for Gideon, because Gideon's fucked. Well, he's not that bad. The first thing in the first Gideon phase, where he's just buffed up, is relatively fine once you learn the pattern. Although the meteor attack is kind of like bullshit, but a little bit. But it's that like Genova Sephiroth version of Gideon that's the final boss that you got to do. And so if you die at any point during that fight, you gotta start back at the elevator sequence, which sucks. And that fight's like a little bit more fucked. So I don't know if it's the worst one I played, because I mentioned the TMNT like water level with the electric seaweed.
Yeah, that one generally sucks.
Yeah, and the Battletoads bike sequence.
Okay, well,
it's one of those like you're a big Dick G gamer, right?
Yeah.
If you can beat it. Yeah, those are the ones that come to the top of my head, because I'm trying. It's been a minute since I played AVP, Captain Commando, or oh my god, what's the medieval one? The fantasy one from Age of Mysteria or something? The D&D one?
Oh,
the one that Capcom made. That game rules. That game is beautiful too. Like for pixel art.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know why I thought Golden Axe. That's something else.
No, that's something else. Golden Axe is fun. Golden Axe is good memories at the arcade where you can load up with 4 people on just thing.
Oh, Knights of the Round. Sorry.
Knights of the Round. Sick. Yeah. So that's just off the top of my head. But as we were mentioning earlier, we are talking about Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, today.
Yay.
Yeah, without Ian, Ian couldn't make it due to the before mentioned very personal reasons that are very good, and we will not bring him up here. So it's just gonna be me and Nick talking about video games, a very non-narrative for video game, very arcadey, so very much our speed. But it's gonna be interesting to do on the podcast because we have no idea how this is gonna work, right? It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. And we'll go to.
What do you want me to say?
Just anything. Just anything.
I'm
dying
shit,
out
Chris.
here.
No, Chris, like you literally interrupt like all the time. You're like, Nick, say something.
No, not I
that.
never.
Who says that?
It's not like there's a delay. Oh man, see that happen again. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Didn't interrupt.
No, it's literally like every time. Like even before, it's just like, oh, say something, not that. No, I don't want that. That's not a good bit.
Okay, but hang on, Nick. We've talked about this. Because the first time I did it, yeah, that was an accident, but I thought it was so funny, and we agreed. We talked about
You
this.
sh- Mhm.
That time you were interrupting me. I want that on the record. We talked about this. It's very funny. It's very funny bit to go like, Nick, improvise something. No, not that. I can't work with that. Or for for one of us to do that, because can you just imagine like an improv scene with that? I think it would be fun. Good.
Just denying people fun. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. Like it's that Conan O'Brien bit with the sailor where it's like, it's the opposite of yes and. It's the no but.
Never.
Never. No. Or you know what it is, Nick? It's the anti-dawn and most upsetting game in the world. Where it's just screaming at someone, no,
That's right.
that's wrong. um yeah, but we're gonna know Ian this week. We're gonna continue our month of Scott Pilgrim. Though he has not been on any episodes, which I just realized. So he will have to answer for his sins next
Pretty much.
next episode, because this has been one hell of a. It's been a lot of work, a lot more work than I thought this month was gonna be for that.
Yeah, you like rom coms. You like.
I love rom coms now. I'll tell you what, man, the rom com thing. I think I mentioned it to you before.
Mhm.
The thing I'm learning about, I'm learning a lot, and it has to do with the people talking about rom coms, not the rom coms themselves. Those,
Okay.
although I am learning that too, but I feel like I'm learning way more talking to people, because a lot of it's just like they tie it to a moment in time with themselves. Because this is like one of the most popular, if not the most popular genre movie, right?
Yep.
Like, so people are watching it and they can remember that period of time if they like that movie, and like the soundtrack, people always talk about how important that was to them, or just how much they remember who they were seeing at the time, who they went with. And then like other movies they recommend, even if they're kind of trashy, but like, they like them. Uh Learning more about people, I feel like, than any other genre. Like, because if we had done action, which one I don't know why we would, because I feel like we all know that genre pretty well. Um,
Right.
to learn something, like, I don't think people would have that same reaction. I don't know. How are you feeling about the month going this year
No,
going
I
so far
mean,
for rom coms?
yeah, I'm with you there. Like,
Yeah,
I do kind of notice that also of like, yeah, it's more people like the memory of it like
yeah,
is it's more about that and like what I guess
mm-hmm.
it invokes in terms of relationships
Yeah,
or past experiences in that way. But I guess that makes sense. It's like that with horror. I mean, some people, especially if it's like maybe like
mm-hmm.
reminds them of a phobia or something that scares them,
Yeah. I feel like
stuff like
really
that.
rattled you.
Yeah, it's it's
Yeah,
it's definitely its own thing.
like I
That's
always
cool. Like,
remember. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like it is. I think it is cool. Like, um, it's less about the movies and more about like the people watching them that
It's
are taking
almost
away.
like it's the entire premise of this podcast. Like, it's we're yeah, we
That's
talk about the
crazy.
thing, we analyze it, but like it's at the
What'd you get
core,
at?
it's about, yeah, what'd you get out of it? Why did you why did you like
Before.
it? What for?
When he said
Uh,
fan
the,
bambling.
there was another version of this title for this series where it was just fucking why, which is my go-to question for anyone who likes something that I don't understand.
Great icebreaker. What for? Who are you?
What? Why?
What'd you get out of it?
Dude, I think I've talked. I think I mentioned this when we were at Evo. Like my quick reaction to be like, "What? Why?" when I don't understand someone's like why they like something or why they're doing something.
Mm.
I feel like has no longer become a joke and has become just a like just a quick reaction that will always happen for me. It's a tick
Mhm.
to the point where we got that god awful call in the like 3 a.m. the first night of Evo for whatever fucking reason. It was just static,
Yeah.
and I thought I said what why like when I answered. Um,
Damn.
fuck. All right, well let's get back to the game. Talking about Scott Pilgrim.
Good game, no flaws.
Good game, no flaws. I mean, I'm gonna spoil this real quick because I did say this is the podcast I'll have with the hottest takes. I just want because people are gonna be angry at me, and I know it.
Okay.
I liked having replayed it. I like this game a lot more than I remember.
Mhm.
Having said that, I still got issues, such as that level. Um, but let's get into the rising action, Nick, which is what do we know about the game before it came out? So let's take a trip back in time to 2010. Was it? Yeah, I'll double check. 2010 August 2010, because it was the same month as the Scott. I think it came out 5 days before the movie
Mhm.
because it was in August 13th. No, 3 days. So that's crazy. What did you know about the game before going in? If you can remember that long,
Well,
that long ago.
I was about to say,
I don't remember anything.
I mean, well, I didn't play until like a few years after it when I was in high school.
Really?
So,
Okay,
well, at least that I remember.
okay. Because I remember playing when it
Maybe,
came out.
yeah, honestly, I think that was the first uh, Scott Pilgrim media, even before the movie.
That was for sure mine.
And then the order was game, comic, then movie
Oh,
for
even
me.
more interesting. Yeah, mine was game, movie, anime than books,
Yeah,
as we discussed. Unless you count me reading the first two volumes for whatever reason
yeah, yeah.
by themselves.
But that was like, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna share about like I think personally, for Scott Pilgrim, the game especially, in terms of playing it, it was definitely I didn't know much else. Like I only knew the beat 'em ups played at arcade or
Mm-hmm.
like when home console ones started having more of an effect. But in
Yeah,
terms that at least in terms of type of game, but in terms of Scott Pilgrim, I didn't know anything, and I know anything about the music or people behind it, of
same.
course. So, um, yeah, I think that was just the main thing in terms of like what I knew beforehand.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I didn't know. I'm with you. I didn't know much. I don't think I actually knew anything before going in, other than this was the era of like DLCs were starting to become more and more of a thing, and downloadable games that had no physical like version were way more prevalent. And I think this was the first game I bought with my own money that like did not have a physical version. It was just a digital copy.
Mm.
And I played it. I think it was like $10 or something. It had way less features than what we have now in this collector's edition, or this complete edition, that was the version we played for
Mhm.
this podcast. And I remember being like, "Yo, this game's hard." As someone who played, yeah, like pretty much like you, beat 'em ups in the arcade a lot, and for like rentals, like at home on PS1 discs that were like for that would put on PS2. But this game was like, so the art was astonishing to me. I had never seen pixel art that level before. I thought since maybe some of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, such as MVC1, which Guilty Gear Accent Core had existed and they look cool. But I always think about early Marvel games, right? Like at the time, that and Metal Slug for just kick ass like over the top pixel art that like rivaled what other games look like.
Yeah,
And this one was like blowing my mind. I thought it was great. This is where I first learned about Paul Robertson. I didn't know anything about Anna Mataguchi going in this game, and I thought, wow, this first song, uh, Another Winter, is fucking awesome. It was amazing, and that made me look into the artist, and I was sold. I was hooked. I was an Anamanaguchi fan from then on. And we'll talk about more about the music a little later. But yeah, I didn't know much about it going on. I knew it was gonna have a movie soon. I hadn't realized. I don't know if I had realized that time was based off the comics. I'm sure someone told me. Someone was like an asshole about it at school or something.
Yeah.
But who knows? That could just be misremembered. But yeah, yeah, and I remember trying to play it. I don't know what I got up to at the time, and then I remember stopping. And then I heard they patched it at some point. I don't know if this is true. This is something I forgot to look up. That they changed the difficulty like a month or two out after. It wouldn't be out of the question for me because like this was a very rushed job for this game, and like yeah, I remember it being very tough. I don't think I could get past the subway level at that moment in time. I don't know if I did. I definitely didn't beat it. I may have gotten into the twins. I feel like that's the furthest I got. But either way, I remember not beating it. I hadn't seen Gideon at the time or reached the end. I remember it feeling long too, the levels, which we timed it around this time. Which I guess that just brings us to the climax of the thing. I tried to time every level for this game, and they all are about like 15 minutes when we were running them. And this is
Yeah.
before we decide to level up our characters.
Yeah.
Except the twins one. I think the twins is by far the longest because it's technically 2 levels, which is kind of
Oh yeah.
fucked. Even though even if you die, you have to start at the beginning, which is why I think they have that subspace highway that skips almost all of the first level if you just rush it. Like if you run the party, you can just blast through that level, right? Like is what we found out.
Yeah.
In
Right.
like
Oh
two
man.
minutes or less. And you still have to fight the robot, so you still have to do the robot fight. Then or maybe the twins are a separate level. Either way, if you combine those two, that one's like a little longer. But they all average about 15 minutes, which I think that's fine. That might be a little long for a beat 'em up in my head. Because I think Streets of Rage 6 may be a little longer. Or sorry, 4. Streets of Rage 4. Has a little longer levels, but I don't remember timing them. I remember when we worked on Underling Uprising, I was pushing the idea that you could beat this beat 'em up all in one sitting because I was so adamant about the wanting to feel more like a classic beat 'em up. But I think they went a little longer. But I think we averaged the levels to 5 minutes if you blast through it. That's if you like really go and beat everything up.
Yeah.
Although it's been a minute since I've played the latest builds. So, or actually, I don't think I have either. Anyway, levels are fine in length. I found this time around. There's not too many of them. This is like a 5-hour game, right? Like I think it's actually a little less. I think if you get stuck on the bosses, it's a little less. But
Yeah.
how do you feel about the lengths of the levels, Nick? As we mentioned
No,
before.
I'm with you. Like I think I feel those that I felt were longer were actually shorter than I thought, and then
Yeah.
some were the opposite. Were ones where I thought I don't know why at the time I thought were quick, but I felt like were padding, and maybe between then and now, all our experience in either games or talking to people that work on games and AAA
And played a lot more beat 'em ups now.
play a lot more beat 'em ups. That feeling of this is the moment they asked him to pad for more content. Like,
Maybe. Who
and
knows?
I felt that with some of the levels where I feel like, yeah, this definitely seems like at the time Ubisoft's thing of just adding stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I because I wonder if it's part of that or it's part of that rush development where they had to make it feel like you're getting something for your $10. Even though
Yeah,
I
right.
think for $10, well, you know what, the complete edition wasn't what you got for $10. I think uh, came out with other stuff, but yeah, I feel like the length of the game is fine. I think it's fine. Having replayed it, unless you get really stuck on a boss, then I can see this being like
Yeah.
real. Yeah. So let's talk about. I want to talk about the things before we get back into gameplay. I want to talk about the things we really like. Let's start. Well, let's start with first the art, and then we'll end on the music. Like the
Okay.
music will be the last thing we talk about. The climax. We'll do art, gameplay, music. Art. Paul Robertson's art. Was that your first time being exposed to Paul Robertson? Before
Yeah, pretty much. I'd
yeah,
say
same here.
because a lot of stuff back then was not appropriate.
Yeah. He draws a lot of like NSFW stuff that I wouldn't call porn, but they're
No,
very much not like.
they are
Some of it's
explicit, but they're not
intense.
sexualized.
Yeah. Exactly. Very explicit, like you said, Nick, and but not sexual. And his art would get crazier as it went on, right? Like, fuck, dude, I just pulled up the video games he was working on. He worked on a lot more than I thought before. Did you know he worked on Backyard Football for the GBA?
Okay, so that's the first thing I was gonna try to bring up because holy shit, I had no idea.
I had no fucking clue. That's wild. That game was part of my like little repertoire. Barbie and the Magic of Pegasus, dude, worked on worked on that.
Damn, all the heavy hitters, literally.
Looney Tunes Double Pack. That's actually kind of cool. Dance. Wait. Lennon says Looney Tunes Double Pack. Oh, page is not existing. He worked on the American Dragon Jake Long, the video game.
Okay, so a lot of the smaller tie-ins.
Yes,
So,
but he worked on X-Men: The Official Game for the movie
mhm.
in 2006, the GBA version.
Oh damn.
Oh, but here's the real shit, Nick. The real shit we should have known before playing Scott Pilgrim. He
Mhm.
worked on Contra 4.
Uh,
For
uh.
for anyone who doesn't know Contra 4, yo, go fucking play Contra 4, the best Contra, dude. Contra 4 fucking rules. like Contra
Fantastic.
and it's hard as balls. It's the hardest one, I think, at up to that point. I don't know if the ones after are harder. I heard that DS one
Yeah.
was really hard.
Oh yeah, that one. That's another handbreaker.
Unless
The,
I'm thinking
the
about like
DS.
Contra 4 as the DS one. No, sorry,
Oh
yeah,
man,
Contra 4 is the DS one.
that
Dude,
fight with
Contra
Black
4 is so
Viper is
fucking
sick.
hard. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, totally. Especially like I just remember being traumatized by Black Viper, the boss.
Yeah.
Uh,
Contra 4 fucking rules. Y'all go play Contra 4 if you want your. That'll be my recommendation towards the end.
all right, so he did have a lot of tie-in hand and like way forwards, like early stuff.
Yeah, and he did Drawn to Life as well, was I think the big one. I think
Hmm.
that's what, according to some of the wiki diving I did, that may have been what got him the job for this game. Was his Drawn to Life work, which is
Oh
interesting.
wow,
I think that's interesting. He also did Where the Wild Things Are, the DS game.
nice.
Sorry, guys.
All right, yeah, I think we got our bases covered.
No, we don't. He did Shantae's Risky's Revenge right after.
Right. Yeah.
Shantae, that game rules. He did the iCarly Groovy Foodie. He did Scribble Knots on I love Name Edition. Wait, he worked on Fez? I didn't know that.
Oh, that kind of makes sense. I can see that.
Kind of does. Uh and then Mercenary Kings, of course. I think Mercenary Kings was one of like, man, yeah, that game is a little ambitious. Super cool to play though, but like the look, I think that was like my favorite Paul Robertson art. Was everything in Mercenary Kings at that time. But yeah, then now he does a bunch of shorts. I mean, famously the Gravity Falls sequence with the Street Fighter character, and some of the weird Mageddon stuff. I think he was on. Yeah, he did Rick and Morty. He's done a couch gag, which I didn't know about. And then Adventure
Yeah.
Time, Amphibia, all that stuff.
Well, then there's
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just remember like a little bit after the game came out. That's when like at least at the time I didn't know like I would be so like lurking on blogs on Tumblr because that was where a lot of artists were at the time. They just had a lot of
Oh
their
yeah, true.
blogs. So Paul Robertson had like one of the biggest blogs ever
Yeah,
of just posting on his Pixel stuff.
yeah, they're crazy. They're so good. I mean, he still does that. Like he still does that on his Instagram and everything
Yeah,
online. But yeah, Paul Robertson's art, like this game looks amazing. I think this game looks cool, especially for how little time they had to do. And you can see kind of his isms in there, the way he designs creatures. Oh,
yeah,
like everyone's a little bouncy, very much like very almost Looney Tunesy in that sense. But and then you get that alien level that's the very last level of the game, the spaceship one. And you go through that and you go, yeah, this is not Scott Pilgrim anymore. This is a Liam Robertson like art book.
mhm,
Right down, right down to the weird way the lady aliens are made and how they're formed almost like in Blade Runner
that's right.
and how kind of weird that looks. You go, yep, that's a Paul Robertson thing. That level looks great. I think that great. What were some like? Was there any design in particular that stood out in this game?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like, well, I think what stood out for me personally was like and this is me like going super far ahead, but
Mhm.
really is like the last level where it felt the most
Yeah,
Paul
dude, it really
Robertson,
does.
but in a cool way. But still, it's just like,
Yeah, and just a cool thing of a beat 'em up level where like stuff's happening in the background. It tells a story because you see these creatures being formed and then you fight them when you hit that level or when you hit
yeah,
towards the end. I like the Halloween party people, all
it's
the
sick.
costumes. I think look, I like the dinosaur, uh, um, big costume the guy wears. I think that's great. The boss designs are fantastic. For like the dancers, I'm thinking about the giant robot. I'm thinking of Gideon's form. Uh, but yeah, yeah. All right. Anything else about the art other than like it's great. It's good looking. It's Paul Robertson. It's bouncy. It moves. Everything looks for being there's so much like fluidity to the pixels, like more than you would think. It's not. It doesn't never feels rigid, even though they're all little blocks built in together. Yeah. Anything
Absolutely
about?
right.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say like, I'm with you like with the Halloween stuff. I think also like I am a really big fan of like pixelated nightscapes. So like I really do like
Yeah.
the first level a lot.
Yeah, first
Just
level's
out of
so
bias.
fucking good. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know because if I say it, it might come across negative, but I do feel like it's the most lively because like
Yeah, yeah, that's no, I think that's a good way to describe his art. He's so good at making everything feel alive, including robots and like everything.
yeah, no, totally. Like, so that for sure. Like, I'm a huge fan of like the superpower where it's basically the Domo, which was very popular at the time.
Yes, it
Uh,
was. It's a
there's
different
that.
time.
They're
Sorry, go ahead.
very very different.
Yeah.
No, that's what's really cool about it. Like, on top of his art, like the other artists who we all eventually know of Mario Cartwright
Mhm.
and the other animators who would later go on to Lab Zero. But
Yes, that is true.
I mean, yeah, there's that like all the
Yeah, they would go
stuff,
to
all the
make.
stuff.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
No, 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 my bad.
I was gonna say they would go on. Of course, for those who don't know, Lab Zero, they would make Skullgirls, which is one of the most important video games to my life and a fighting game I still love to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's so many shots and like stuff that just definitely iconic. Like
Hmm.
I'm still a fan of the classic Scott looking through the wall, the heart shaped wall to Ramona.
Yeah, they
Um,
even they even put that in the trailer for the complete edition because it's so like that's probably its most iconic shot
mhm.
for the cutscenes. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like in terms of sprites and stuff, yeah, definitely the bosses are great. The fight, the one with uh with Todd is pretty great.
Oh yeah.
Screams Paul Robinson, vegan and all.
Yeah, the Tetsuo animations of the vegan food. Uh,
Yeah.
and there's so many. I mean, getting to that part of the game, there's so many references in this video game to just everything else. I mean, at its core, we're gonna get to the. Is it okay if I follow this train, Nick, or do you have anything else to say
Oh,
before
keep
we
going.
get
Yeah,
there?
that's cool.
All right, cool. We get to the references. Of course, we talked about the Akira Tetsuo vegan arm, which is great. There's so many Street Fighter references that I totally forgot. I just
Yeah.
totally forgot how many Street Fighter references. Scott's special like tech moves are Makoto's rushing punch and her. Oh my god, I always forget what this move is, but it's the straight fist to the air, which is meant for
Yeah.
cross ups. And then when I that it was a surprise to me when we were playing this and we leveled everyone up, or we leveled Scott up, and we were like, I was like, oh, he's Makoto. Oh, this character just became good.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just like Hadokens, of course. Gideon is just Urian, or I guess
Yeah.
closer to Gil,
Yeah.
because he does the shoulder charge. I think he has an Aegis reflector. I don't remember, but he has the
The leg.
kick, and it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same overhead hard kick, forward hard kick, dude. It's fucking crazy how many Street Fighter references are in here. Way more than I thought. And then of course, the game at its core is more of a send up to the River City Ransom games, like the Kunio games.
Mm.
So if you're not into the Kunio beat 'em ups, then yeah, a lot of this game up until maybe their higher levels are gonna be a problem. Like in terms of what you would want from a beat 'em up gameplay, you know what I'm saying? Like it does not play like Double Dragon until you figure out the dodge roll, which it kind of does. Uh, but the feel, I mean, I think it feels more like Kunio games. What do you think, Nick? If you had to compare the
No,
feeling to,
yeah, no, I think I'm with you on that. Like, I do also think like in terms of because the video games also like were a lot known for later on contributing to um like the whole like group supers and stuff like that. So it's like
yeah, that's true. That's true.
then like I feel like Kunio games have like a very specific snap to them versus other ones.
Yeah, yeah, you're a little guy compared to all and to a lot of stuff filled on stream, and the punches are
Yeah,
like you don't have a lot of range. Everything is very up close, right? Compared to some Streets of Rage characters, or shit, AVP has like a crazy button that's like super long range, but compared to those, right?
yeah.
Which gets into kind of my problem with the game, and I want to see if you share the same sentiment in terms of game feel. Is that
Okay,
I think the characters at their beginning levels are not that fun to play. And like
I think I'm
maybe
with
that's
you.
part of the design, right? Because like
But
you
yeah,
unlock stuff and you go like, oh, these are crazier power ups now. But if it takes that long for me to go like, all right, now I'm having fun and
yeah.
messing around with enemies and doing combos and shit, like then it makes the beginning of the beat 'em up a slog. Whereas like a beat 'em up has to feel good, I think, right away. And I'm not saying it doesn't. Like you press that button, you go ew, because you don't, or at least I don't. But you feel so fucking limited at the beginning.
Yeah, I think I'm
What do
with you
you?
there.
You're with that?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. Like, it really wasn't until like we started getting the tech moves and stuff, then I felt like
Oh yeah, dude.
we can do more in the
Felt like we
sense
were
of
doing
like,
shit. Yeah.
yeah, like the game opens up to where it's intended to be,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's always a tough balance to do. Like, and
Yeah,
obviously, like this is critiquing a 2009 game, but
I know. I was about to
like
do a very unfair comparison to Streets of Rage 4, which I'll still do once you finish. But
that is actually where I was gonna go with it
oh really? All right, go for it. Go for it. Go.
because again, this is like after you play the best of the best
Yeah,
you go, it's not as good as the best or the thing like or the best
that
version
I
of
like
this
now. Yeah.
that I like now. So for instance, in a different genre of video game, why don't you play Devil May Cry 5 and you
Yeah,
try to
dude.
play other character action games are trying to do their Devil May Cry 5. They're trying.
Devil May Cry 5 made me like Bayonetta less. And Bayonetta was my favorite, like,
I'm
beat 'em
totally
up
with
for
you,
like the
dude.
longest time, dude.
But can it top? Can any like these beanie? Can any of these like character actions literally top Virgil turning around and saying
No,
Alpha and the Omega?
no,
Like,
no, no, no. And Bayonetta 1 comes close, I think, and so does Wonderful 101 in terms of set pieces. But I think there's something to be said, right? Where in Bayonetta 1, one of the best sequences is just beating the shit out of God, like towards the end. Or
yeah,
just that missile sequence. The final fight with John is like, oh, it's fucking stellar, right? And the way they do the shots, the way your QTEs flow into each other. Bayonetta 2's fights with, and again, I'm doing this so people aren't like, oh, he hates all character games. That's not fucking true. I love these games.
no, no.
Bayonetta 2's, oh my god, what's the name of the villain? The main time priest guy. There's no other character action fight like those where he
Totally.
controls frozen time as well.
Especially when you
Um,
parry him, it's sick.
oh my god, dude! But there's something. Oh, and Wonderful 101's, of course, Save the World, the button. And if you haven't played
Yeah,
it, you'll get to it and you'll know what the button is. Um, Devil May Cry 5, there's something to be said where it beats all those moments with just a character turning around. It's the best fucking thing in video.
not
It's
just
like,
any character.
it's
Just
what I know, not just any character. The
a
man, the
motherfucker.
man, the alpha and the omega the game posits. And it's one of the greatest moments in any video game I've played. I can't think, like, it's the stuff you like as a writer you dream of, right? That
Yeah,
you can accomplish, that you can reach this little moment, and it can mean so fucking much with just a very little action. It's that thing I always chase after, man. The only thing I can compare it to right off the top of my head is Watchmen's. Yeah, stay with me. The ending to Watchmen, the
and
graphic novel,
every
where Ozymandias asks the
just
question.
answer
The panel,
question.
the panel is just him in a very sincere looking face. Did I do the right thing? And it gets me every time. I think about that shot. I think about that little box so fucking much, and how much I want to accomplish that moment, right? Like, I want to reach that.
Yeah.
Oh, Devil May Cry 5 is so fucking good. Anyway, Scott
Oh.
Pilgrim, the game.
No. So I was gonna say like
Yeah.
so with Streets of Rage 4, like it had a thing too where it's like the absolute hype of Mr. and Mrs. Y,
Yeah.
and like getting to
Yeah.
play you know either Estelle or Shiva or Max, and it just get when it opens up, essentially like what you're getting is so many options for
Yeah.
combos, and you're being rewarded by cooler and cooler animations of each
Mm-hmm.
character and their personalities, and it's
Yep.
just like yeah, like even from the jump everyone's really fun to play.
Which is what
But
I
now
was.
it
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry.
I didn't mean.
I
I
was like,
didn't
yeah,
mean to
so
interrupt.
but the ceiling isn't like limited moves, it's literally
Mhm.
the limit of your abilities, or like your skills of the combo.
Yes, and I know this becomes a preference thing, right? Where people want to unlock stuff as a progression versus it's the common video game thing of external versus internal progression, right? Where external is like, yeah, RPG numbers are things you unlock, and the game becomes easier as you keep playing it. Versus internal, whereas no, you got better. The game is still hard, but you got better as a player, right? But
Yeah.
Streets of Rage 4 and River City Girls, which was one I was going to bring up too, both have a lot of stuff to unlock that very much opens the game. But you already start off being able to do crazy shit and to make it feel really good. Like, I don't think, and maybe again this has to do with time constraints, but I'm just gonna keep this from like the perspective of, well, this is what we played, right? I don't think you just have to get rid of or gut a character at the beginning in order to create progression. I think you can start off with a lot, and then everything else should feel like, oh yeah, this is a move I need, right? this is the option. This is the option I want, having played this game now. You know, but I also, I mean, the only asterisk I would put to this critique for me, as like from my perspective, is the fact that yeah, I've played a lot of beat 'em ups, right? Like that's, and I would have that. Like I wonder how someone who had never played a beat 'em up, which would be a lot of people for this game because this game is very popular. This was like a very cultural touchstone, like kind of game. I wonder how people who never played a beat 'em up felt, right? Like that's why I really wanted Ian's perspective on that. But yeah, what do you think? What how do you feel about all that?
Mm, that's a good question. Like progression, yeah, that's such a different like thing,
I mean, that's
especially
just game design. That's like yeah, that's game
yeah.
design at its core. Like, how do we keep
Because then
making it
yeah, it's
fun?
preference, and then me going this. I like when this did that and not
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
I will say like it's a tough balance. I know Itsuno talked about that so much about
yeah.
finding ways to reward the player on like their terms
Yes,
versus like trying to brute force a game design onto people that may or may not click with it.
yeah,
It's it's yeah, yeah, it's tough. Like and going into Scott Pilgrim, it's like I have to just keep in mind I'm playing in 2025 versus '09,
you're playing 20
and
years later. Yeah, or no, 15 years later. My bad.
15 years still. Like, yeah, it's just like yeah, and I definitely felt it towards the end of like
Yeah,
kind of that
levels
now I
become
felt
shorter.
now I started to yeah, yeah, now I started realizing why I didn't like it was
Mhm.
because I couldn't do cooler things immediately comparatively to like Streets of Rage or like Double Dragon Neon even. Like
Yeah, yeah. I think we mentioned it before. I mean, it feels weird to say because like it feels like you're cheating when you say, when I maxed out the character and got all the moves, then I felt like I really had a lot of fun with
I
playing
hope
it,
so. I hope
right?
so.
Which
Yeah.
one? Yeah, you hope so, but two, it's like, yeah, do you have to make it that far in order to get it? Everything should just be. I think you should already start off on fun, and then it should just keep wrapping up, right?
Oh yeah. The
Unless you want to do, I mean, there are moments in games where it's supposed to be miserable, and I agree with like the choice to make it miserable, but that's hard. That's a really hard thing to do, and I'm not, and that may be a little unfair because I don't think the game is miserable when you start playing. I'm just saying, having played a lot of beat 'em ups, it feels like you're kind of stifled at the beginning.
mhm.
And we're not even including the fact that yeah, there is stats. There is stats for speed. There is stats for health. There is stats for just your strikes in order to get. So there's like two forms of progression. It's both the moves and your basic stats. Right, how the game feels. Like once you're at top speed, holy shit, that game like because it's like hyper mode. Super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many very limited. I feel like very at the beginning. I feel that's always my biggest critique with this game is just playing it. I always felt like I feel like I'm being choked out a little bit or a little stifled here. I don't feel like I can do what I want to do with what these characters are asking me.
Mm,
I'm not
yeah.
I'm not saying I want a god being or anything. I still want that fun back and forth. But like if you don't feel like you can do much, can't do much. Like okay, here's a different here's an example of a game where it's actually kind of slower combat, but I still think is really fun. Double Dragon Neon. Double Dragon Neon is like if River City Girls I consider because it is an Arc Sys game. The anime fighter of beat 'em ups. Double Dragon Neon is like Street Fighter. Very much slower and you're way more committed to your attacks. But they feel good. They feel good to do. Like they feel good to punch, you feel strong, you feel you have combos you can do.
Mhm.
Grabbing is a lot of fun, throwing characters, the fact that if you have if you have a second player, you can play a sort of catch with both weapons and enemies. And the way you combo guys, and that's another like straight to just digital only beat 'em up. That was really now Double Dragon Neon has I think flaws too, but I feel like I liked a lot. I liked playing that game a lot more right off the bat, like in terms of game feel. And they came out around the same time.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
All right.
all
Yeah.
right. Okay, let's talk about. Okay, so other than that, what are some other gameplay things? How do we feel about the enemies? Or oh, well, I guess the bosses, right? The bosses being the big. I think they're more of a highlight than some of the levels. I think.
I agree.
What were some bosses that stood out to you, or that you want to talk about?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think like going through it, and especially after playing a lot of games between then and now, like understanding all the references being made during the boss fights and such,
Yeah.
both in the story of Scott Pilgrim at the time, and then also like to other beat 'em ups, especially the twins uh,
Mhm.
fight. Uh, I think in terms of like the most fun I personally end up having, that would probably have to be yeah, I think Todd. I really like Todd's progression.
Todd's a really good one, I think, in terms of boss fight.
Though the
I
chaos
like.
in the actor is really good. The second one.
Yes, yeah, 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 I like that one too. The Todd one I think stands out a lot. That great Guitar Hero reference, which is really funny. And how quick it was way quicker than I remember. That him doing the you running through the walls, I think, is a great little sequence. And then the actual fight, like, is super fun. I think it's one of the more fun ones. I'm with you, even though it has ads that I'm not crazy about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do feel like it was one of the better ones. I think the first phase of Gideon, the Urian version, I think I had a just as much fun with that in the sense of learning how to dodge his moves. Because once I figured out, oh, he's playing as Urian, I think I can get this. Like, I think I know what to do. Like, which was very fun, and like figuring out when to fight him, and all that. Trying to think, the only one we didn't, the only boss fight we didn't do was Mr. Kim because it's random. But like, yeah, I think those two fights. I'm not too big on the second phase of Gideon,
same.
God being one, because I felt like we
Well,
had to figure out what spots to stand in
yeah,
for beat 'em up, and you kind of just camp out like there. That was the one where we just like leveled up the characters to max because we were like, at the time, I know this is late. At the time, we were on a timer, and we had to get that shit done. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think for the gameplay wise, any other things before we move on to the music? Just because I'm looking at the
yeah,
timer.
yeah, totally. I think one thing was like I do kind of agree. Well, I do agree with kind of the first thing brought up in the podcast about yeah, that last level there are some unnecessary things. I feel like we're just padding.
Mm.
So the
And by the
elevator for
last level, you
sure.
mean Gideon's level?
Getting into whole sequence, yeah.
Yeah, not the space level.
No,
Okay, gotcha.
not space level. Yeah, sorry. I meant like the sequences between the phases
Mm.
for
Oh shit!
Gideon.
Yeah, I forgot about the blood drop thing. Whatever the fuck that was supposed to be about.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's
I
like a
still don't know.
reference to Yumi Nikki or something,
Yeah,
or some
maybe
fuck.
or like maybe there's a reference in the comic I missed, but
Yeah. No, there's no way. I don't remember anything like that.
okay.
I don't know why it's there. I'm with you on that.
Okay. So yeah, I think those are just the ones where I felt like, yeah, this is just for padding and just to add more
Yeah,
things, but
but it's a sequence you
um
have to do.
have to do
And those blood
um
drops hit hard. They hit stun you. They knock you down, and they hit for a lot. They hit for like 20 or 25 points.
yeah, God,
Which
I
if you're
can't imagine.
yeah, which if you're still at 100 life, I think I mean that's a quarter of your life. So you only get 4 hits.
Jeez, yeah, that's true.
Uh Oh, and you can't parry them. I tried doing that. I could. Yeah, I don't even know if you could block them. Anyway, anyway. Yeah, there's all these little flubs and flaws with like the actual gameplay and the game feel of it. It's a little weird to me. And some of the layer levels, like that forest one, like really does feel like you're not making progress at all for a little bit. So they give you like the key. But anyway. Oh well, you know what? Let's talk about the characters. We only played as Scott and Ramona, which were fun. I did mess around with Kim and Kim Wallace, and oh my god, who's the guitarist of the band? Nick, help.
Oh,
Help.
Steve.
Steve, yeah. Um yeah, and they're
Steven
I
Stills.
think they're all fun, but we do get into my big this game is bullshit thing, which is if you are playing the complete edition of Scott Pilgrim the game, which is the new version, which is probably the version you're going to try if you want to play it like in this year, unless you somehow still own an Xbox 360 or PS3 with it downloaded already. You cannot unlock Knives Chow unless you link up your Ubisoft account. So you have to make an Ubisoft account and you have to link it, and then you get the character you bought. That comes with the complete edition. It used to be a DLC, but now it's like you have to make an Ubisoft account. So I think that's bullshit. I think that's genuinely awful. But yeah, I mean that's more or less my complaints with the gameplay. Anything else before we move on to music?
No, I think we got everything covered.
All right, cool. Nick, take it away. Anamanaguchi, go. Soundtrack.
It's all right, I guess.
Yeah, same. All right, next we'll talk about the cutscenes. All right, no, Nick. So did you? This is your introduction
Phenomenal.
to Anamanaguchi too, right?
I fucking love it, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, the soundtrack's
Oh my
amazing. I
god,
mean, what are we,
life changing.
we're gonna complain about it? No, it's great. Another
I
Winter is still one of their best songs, I think.
Yeah, I can be safe to say that I think that soundtrack definitely put a trajectory on me in a way
Uh,
like I wasn't ready for.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that was my introduction to chip tunes.
chip tunes, video game music, and
Yeah,
like in general, like um, I guess like that sort of take where it's mixing genres for games and stuff. Like,
yeah, and they do what you need for this beat 'em up. They're high energy. Then you get into the little shops and it's do 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 do, and it's just a perfect shop music.
yeah,
The subspace highway music is weird and kind of zany, but or not zany, weird and kind of like foreboding, but you kind of need that to feel like out of outer world. I no, it's that thing I always think about with Fury, the video game that Carpenter Brut talked about, where
yeah,
it was his first time making a video game song, and he went, it was so fucking hard for me compared to everything else because it has to be good from second one. I can't do this thing where I build up. I start with a little motif and then build up into something big and bombastic, and then you're like, no. Second one has to be good, and I think all the Anamanaguchi songs do that here.
yeah. And that's truly a testament, like
Yeah.
that even from back then to now, they just essentially built off of that and grew so much. Like
Oh
the ideas of
yeah.
them, especially like to give context about like that, where we when we saw him live perform a lot of it recently
Oh
in recent years, uh, and they're doing like different versions of the songs now. Like
yeah,
that
it's really
live
cool.
version of Another Winter was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick. When we saw them for the Scott Pilgrim anniversary show, or for the anime release show, that medley they did of all of like a bunch of different soundtracks or a bunch of different songs from the game was like, fuck, dude, it was so killer. I wish they hit. I hope they do that again at some point.
Yeah.
Because they'll
Oh
play
my
the
god.
songs, but I haven't heard them do the medley again.
Exactly.
No, Animataguchi. I mean, this isn't an Animataguchi podcast, but I mean, or episode, but I mean, like, Endless Fantasy was like one of the best albums that came out for me, like I think late high school, early college. I'm not sure. I think it was late high school. And then USA, like I remember USA not liking it at first, but now USA is I think the best album, or at least my favorite album from them. The one I gotta spend more time with is Capsule Machine, because that one's the weirder one. But I like that
Oh,
frog song.
yeah, FREG, yeah.
Yeah, FREG. Uh, I gotta go play because it's like a video game too, and I never did that. And then of course Away, which is their new album, is very different, but it's good in its own right. There's definitely songs I kind of like more than the others on the album. I think we talked about that, and it's all the more punkish ones, all the more like fast ones.
Energy, yeah. No, I
Yeah,
get you.
yeah. Anyway, anime. What else is there to say about Anime They're phenomenal. If you like the soundtrack for the game, I mean, I think they only get better from here. Like from this, they really just like evolve into these just phenomenal musicians
Yeah.
and
And
songwriters.
and oh, sorry.
No. I'm done. Go ahead.
I was gonna share on top of that, like, and to a point where like, I think my hot take. I don't know if it's hot, but like, re-listening so many times to the albums back to back recently, I
Yeah.
think I like USA now more than Endless Fantasy. Um,
I mean, yeah, I'm on that train. I think.
especially We Die. Like,
Yeah, I told you. I was like, I think "We Die" is their best song.
I'm kind of with you. Like, I think it is.
You mean kinda? Nah, I'm all there. This is their best song, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
"We
is.
Die" is,
I
I
wanted
think,
to.
like a near perfect song. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was totally gonna say that, and then like, yeah, BSX, I just love. I feel like it's a more evolved version of Everything Exploding, like
Oh yeah, I can see that.
because it's incorporating more Vocaloid in this
Yeah.
album. God, yeah, it's just top to bottom. Yeah, I love it so much, and yeah, they just grew so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's good. Good.
It's
Fantastic.
good.
Good music. All right. Anything else to say about the game itself before we what we got out of it? Any last comments?
I had a great time. I had a great time, like overall going through it.
Okay.
Lots of nostalgia. Same with the comics. Like definitely thought back a lot where I was at the time, but also like how much more appreciation I got for it, and just all the references and smaller stuff
Yeah.
um, put into
Lot
it.
lot more references I caught this time around. Okay, so let's get into so what we get out of it. So Nick, do you want to keep elaborating on that? What'd you get out of this? What'd you get out of
I
Scott
got,
Pilgrim versus the World again?
I got out of it a good game that had cool music, cool art, and had fun uh, replaying again. I liked when I pressed a button and it felt cool to play, and that's what I got out of it.
But okay. No, that's good. That's cool. That's cool. What I got out of it, I went into this episode and I was kind of like hinting at it beforehand. This is before I replayed the game. That my hot take was going to be if for any of the Scott Pilgrim stuff is going to be for this. Although apparently we might have more hot takes for the anime for some of the discourse I've seen around it. So we'll have fun with that episode. But um for the video game, I had always said, well, no, I wasn't the first one to say it. I think it was Pat from Castle Super Basic and Pat Stares at who once said, or one of them did, maybe someone like emailed it or whatever. But the game is less than the sum of its parts, and for the
Mhm.
longest time, I agreed with it because I didn't like the gameplay that much when I first went through it. I loved the music. I thought the music was 10 out of 10, if not 11 out of 10. It was better than the rest of the game for me. The art was like fucking amazing and it was just all around like the package was way cooler than like the contents, right? Of that. Having replayed it, the game is a lot more fun than I thought than I remember. when I played it. Having said that, as we like critiqued at the beginning, I still think the gameplay is not all there. I still think the gameplay is the weakest part of the Scott Pilgrim versus the World game. I think the music is still like its strongest suit, and then Paul Robertson's art's also one of his strongest suits.
Mhm.
But the gameplay is, I think, lacking until you level up a character all the way, which is like level 16. Then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now we can have fun. Now we can do stuff. Let's do the harder levels, and it becomes like crazy, right? Some of the modes I'm not too big on. I think the survival horror mode is not that great. The dodgeball thing's kind of fun. The fight the versus mode, you need that, and that's fun, goofy shenanigans. I like there's a unique stage to it. I haven't done the boss rush. I think that's the only thing, but I'm sure it's fine. The knives chow thing really bugs the shit out of me for this quote
Yeah.
unquote complete edition. I think that's bullshit, and that's just Ubisoft being Ubisoft with that, right? I
Yeah.
really don't. I really do not like that decision. I think it's bad. I know it's like, but it's so easy to do. But I've bought the fucking thing. I shouldn't have to make an account.
Look,
Like,
lots of shitty things are easy to do, but you just don't do them.
yeah, how about that? You just don't do it. Well, whatever.
Why is that an argument? I could have
Especially
robbed
because
you.
it's more expensive now, right? Like, I actually don't know how much. If you bought the game by itself, Scott Pilgrim, because I bought that crazy special edition from Limited Run, and even I was like, I'm insane for doing that. If you bought Scott Pilgrim the game today, okay, $15,
Yeah.
right? So that's not. I mean, that's not bad. I think that's still like the right price actually for what you get. Uh,
Mhm.
but the knives chow thing, yeah, that bugs the shit out of me, dude. So having said that, I still think my opinion kind of holds, where everything else besides the gameplay is firing on also like is firing at its maximum like velocity. But I still think the gameplay is a little lacking, just not as much as I used to think. I think I had a lot more fun this time around with it, and I still think it's fun to play, especially if you've never played a beat 'em up before. You're not going to notice those things. It's gonna be great to you. But if you are a beat 'em up veteran, there are problems with this game, and you will notice them more and more as you keep playing it, especially like where the respawn points are, or where the continue points are, what it's or how much of the level it asks you to do. Sometimes the whole fucking level if you lose to. Um, no, sorry, the whole doing redoing the whole level for a boss that doesn't bother me too much because the levels are shorter than I remember. You have those subspace highways that you can find. It's when you have to do two levels for the twins or Gideon, right? That really bugged me. Having said that, it's better than I remember, but I still think the gameplay is the weakest part of this game. But
Mhm.
that should do it.
No,
Any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, bad. My bad.
Oh no, I was gonna. I'm just ending it. I'm wrapping it up so we can get into the denouement. But so, any last words, Nick, about the game before we move on and we call it for this episode?
Yeah, I think I can just sum it up by saying I still like the music more than playing it.
100%, 100% agree with that. I am so on board with you with because now I'm like, all right, now I don't have to replay it. I can just keep play. I have my older opinion now. I can just keep listening to the soundtrack because it's better. Fuck, dude. All right, so let's get into the denouement. Nick, what would you recommend having done this podcast, this episode, and having played the game?
Yeah, yeah. That I did think about this for a bit for recommendations.
Okay.
Where it aligns with what we talk about with beat 'em ups, and then we talk about with music and the art and stuff. So with that said, because the easy answer is to go River City Girls,
Okay.
but I feel like what I would recommend, especially for a recent beat 'em up,
Uh huh.
uh, would be, let me get the name right, because I did play a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Um, it was uh, the Power Rangers Rita's Rewind.
Oh fuck, dude! I still gotta play that. That game looks good.
I fucking love it, and I have to stop on level 1 to go, "Okay, I need to play this with people. They need to see
Okay.
what's happening." Also, I'm biased 'cause I know the composer, he's a really cool guy, and I know,
Oh,
like,
hey, that's
he does
cool.
a lot of care for the music, and, like, he's a diehard Sentai guy, so, like, it's
Yeah.
entertaining. So, like, it's phenomenal what they do, especially if you are familiar with the music and cues, like, holy shit, he does such a great job.
Okay, that's rad. I didn't know you knew the guy. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right. What would I recommend? I mean, you mentioned it's Street River City Girls. I haven't played River City Girls 2 yet. That's one I definitely have to get to. But I love River City Girls 1. I think the combos you can do there are so fucking fun. And then I love the attitude. I love the style. I love the music. Um, and just the whole. It's to me, it's another like it's the whole package kind of thing. But I mean, if you want to jump to what I think is like the best beat 'em up I've played personally, it's probably Streets of Rage 4. Like in my head, that's what I'm always thinking about. Granted,
Yeah.
I do warn people about the last boss fight because I do think it's one of the weaker ones, especially the boss fight it follows up after and the obvious like thing you could have done with it. But it has amazing soundtrack and the song for that particular level is like great.
Mhm.
I what would be like an out of left field? I don't know. Go play DMC5. Character action games are the evolved take on beat 'em ups. They're
Peak.
what 3D beat 'em ups would be if they kept going. Oh, go play Sifu. If you haven't played Sifu is probably the closest to like what a 3D beat 'em up evolving from a 2D beat 'em up would be, right?
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
Sifu's phenomenal. Go play Sifu.
Yeah. No, that those are great recommendations. Those are just again, I was trying to find, like, not easy, obvious, perfect game
Yeah, yeah, no,
answers.
I know what you're saying. But the Doritos Rewind, that's really good. I gotta play that new Turtles one too.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude, I gotta play that new Double Dragon one that came out like a year or two back. Fuck, that one looks so good, and people were telling me it's really good. And then that new Marvel beat 'em up is coming out.
I hope it's good.
Dude, I hope
I
that
wanna
one's
be
good
good.
because it looks good.
It
Oh my
looks
god,
so
I want it
good.
to be good so bad. Like the art's sick for that. Yeah, but if I and then go listen to Anamanaguchi because they're phenomenal. They're on tour right now for Away, the Buck Wild tour. So if the chiptune stuff ain't your jam, but like pop punk with a little bit of Midwest emo in there for this new album, you definitely like go check that out too. All right, we did it. We did another one without Ian. We
Yeah.
did it.
Alright.
I gotta
Thank
go
you,
edit
Ian.
this thing. I gotta get this thing out there.
Yeah.
Ian did say he's going to join us for the next one, which is the last episode for the month of Scott Pilgrim. We did it, everybody, for its 15th
Yeah.
for the movie's 15th anniversary. The last episode, which will come out on the 31st of September 2025, or sorry, August 2025. My bad.
Hey, that's right.
Is going to be the Scott Pilgrim anime by Science Saru Studios. So get ready for that. All right. Bye.
See ya.